I'm going to add an explosion here. So first I'm going to get position information, mh spawn info, go into my code. Here's my particle emitter entity. I'm going to replace the coordinates. There it goes. So now I want to choose an explosion, but what kind of explosion do I want? Because there's like hundreds of explosions and I don't want to go looking through all the game files and trying them out one by one in the game code. So I want a sparky, typical fiery explosion. What do I do? Let's go to Proteus Doom's YouTube channel and go on down to the Doom Eternal Particle Effects database. Right there. And I'm going to go on to View Full Playlist. And here's a selection of explosions. Let's just try one, see what it looks like. That's a barrel explosion. It's kind of like what I'm looking for, but not quite. There's this one, but it's a bit too slow, I think. Okay, I think that's the one I want. It's a typical explosion and a bit sparky. Right, what's the file path? There it is. I'll copy that. Put it in my code. Save the file. Copy the name of the entity. mhForce reload. And let's trigger the explosion. There it is. Okay, let's do that again. I want to find a different kind of explosion. I want to find a small, bright explosion. So go on search and type in bright small. Okay, some suggestions here. Grenade cluster bomb variants by the looks of things. Let's have a look at one of these. Okay, nice. I think I'll have that one. Just take the file path, copy, put it in my entity, save, reload, test it out. There we go. That's the idea of this particle effect database. Let me show you a bit more of what's included in the information. So you can see there's the title. In the title I have a kind of brief description of the effect. In the description of the video there are tags, so just kind of keywords for describing the effect. So this can help with searching my channel to find the effect you're looking for. Underneath that is the file path, and underneath that's a bit more. Unless otherwise stated, effect is in every level. Like this explosion, you can use that file path in any level that you're editing and it will work. With some levels, the particle effects are specific to those levels, and so unless you've imported assets from that level into the level you're editing, the effect, the file path, isn't going to work. But I will state that specifically if that is the case. Effect scale, color, and orientation are default as well, and by default I mean the scale is 1, the color is no color, like no information given. So there are some effects that are huge and they're too big for me to fit in the level to record them in a video, and so in order to record them and put them in a video in my database I have to scale them down. But if I do scale them down, I'll include what scale I'm using in the description of the video. By no color then, what I mean is that I haven't edited the color in any way in the particle emitter entity. A lot of particle effects in the game files have their own color, like the explosions you've seen in the videos in my database already, but some particle effects have no color at all. Sometimes I'll have to add color to the particle effect for you to be able to see it clearly, and so if I do this, if I change the color in some way, I'll include the color information so you will know how I have edited the particle effect. And by default orientation, I mean that I haven't changed anything, so it's like set to 0. Also, by default, most of the particle effects in Doom Eternal are not sprites, but I'll mention if something is a sprite. And something else I forgot to mention here is that some particle effects have a sound with them as well by default. Most particle effects don't, they are silent like the ones you've seen in the video, but if it has a sound, I'll also mention that this particle effect has a sound. Some more specific information then, as an example, like this Mars Core Super Barrel explosion. Like usual, there's the title, the tags, the file path, but under that I also give the name of the level that it is in. Maybe this effect is in other levels, and well, maybe I'll add to this list of levels that it's in, but you can find it in there anyway. This particular explosion is also massive, and I scaled it down to fit in the video, and there's the scale information, so you can have an idea of how big it is. So that's it, that's the idea of this particle effect database. Let me know what you think in the comments and if you have any suggestions.